สวัสดีครับมาบู hi hola hi all the fans how are you um, look at me who actually being with me this evening I'm so excited. I couldn't find the proper word to describe my feeling at the moment. Okay, all the fans, that's the one the world waiting for. Okay, the beautiful ladies, the sweet beauty queen, and the one who deserving to win the night. Please welcome my sweetheart Hannah Arnold, Miss International Philippines 2021. Please.
Hi everyone watching KP1 worldwide, and hi Admin Co or Go. Sorry, trying to use
Yes.
the Thai pronunciation, but I will say Admin Co. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your support, and I'm very excited for tonight.
Right. I'm very excited indeed, Hannah. As everybody know, okay, our audience, our fans, quite multinational, and aside from Filipinos, we got quite many nationality watcher. So, would you mind to just tell about yourself a little bit? Who are you? Uh-huh. And how old are you? How many times have you been joining? Okay, and sort of, and it
Yes.
as well.
Okay, so hi to everyone watching, whether you're in the Philippines, you're in Thailand, or anywhere in the world, worldwide, like KP1 worldwide.
Yes.
I am Hannah Constantino Arnold. I was a candidate in Binibining Pilipinas, which is the national pageant here in the Philippines. And I am now going to be representing the Philippines in the upcoming 60th edition of Miss International. So I actually joined this pageant, Binibining Pilipinas, back in 2019. And that time, unfortunately, I didn't yet win. I didn't walk away with a crown, but I didn't give up. And here I am now. I have a crown, a sash, and I'm being interviewed by friends from all over the world. And in case you're wondering about my accent, in case you're not aware, I am Filipino Australian. So, I did grow up in Australia, but I have very much had that Filipino heart and have always been loving both of those cultures, the Filipino and Australian culture. And again, I'm so grateful to be here tonight, and I'm very excited for my next pageant journey in Japan.
Wow. Okay. So now all the fans would get some idea about Hannah already. So I would love to get a little bit deeper in yourself. So what kind of study did you get? In the bachelor level.
Yes, so I studied in Canberra, the capital of Australia, and I have always had a love of science, but I've also really wanted to help the community and be a voice for the voiceless. So the degree that I took up, it's called a Bachelor of Applied Science in Forensic Studies. So for those who are unaware of what forensic science, forensic studies is, it's the person that will show up at a crime scene or will find that evidence or will help figure out the guilty or innocent party. That's in the most basic terms, but it definitely goes way deep. So much science, so much technology, and I'm very grateful that I have this platform to promote and inspire more people to also take up science courses and become scientists also. Whether you're a girl or a boy, it doesn't matter what gender you are, as long as you love maybe if you love a little bit of maths, a lot of science, and you want to help the community, then science and forensic science are great courses to take up.
Right. So, still, I wonder, have you ever had your hands on, the forensic, job, like crime scene investigation sort of.
So during our studies, we experienced so many different things. We did pretend crime scenes. There would be a body, and then we would find all the evidence, take pictures, take down many notes. And then we also experienced other things like finding fibers, determining whether the paint came from the same evidence. We did a lot of hands-on things, but I have not yet worked exactly in the official forensic labs because my other dream was to take up pageantry, and that's why I'm here now as a beauty queen instead.
Right, right, right. So, I mean, even though I try to understand, Hannah, I haven't got a clue yet. I mean, how could you combine, two different world, and blend into something great for, the pageant community, or, for all the fans worldwide? Can you give me just, some idea?
Yes, so with pageantry now, we really have this platform to help the community, not only in our speaking, in our interviews, but online, people are really willing to listen to us, and we have so much support in giving a helping hand to the community. As a scientist, you're also doing the same thing. You're finding the facts, you're giving the evidence, and people are listening to what you have to give in order to help the community. So, as much as I loved science and I really wanted to go into my master's and maybe eventually a PhD, I wanted to put that aside because I also deep down wanted to join the pageant. And I realized that, I'm still young and why not give it a go and see what happens. And after I didn't win in 2019, I knew that I wasn't yet done with my pageant journey. So that's why I joined again. And then during the pandemic, I went back to science. So, I'm still able to balance it. And like you said, it's turned into something great because during the coronation night, the crowning night on July 11, we had to give a message about the pandemic. And the message that I chose to talk about was about the need for more science and technology here in our country, in the Philippines. And because of that message, more people have been inspired to become scientists also, to research what school is offering great science courses. And also the Department of Science and Technology have also heard my message. So I'm very excited that with this crown, with this sash, with this journey, I'm going to be able to really make a change and do something. And I think it truly starts with science. That's something that will definitely help us get through this pandemic, and it's needed right now.
Right. So, just your tentative plan is like, after you complete your reign as Miss International Philippines, you tend to love going back to further your study in master level. What about if you succeed another pageant in Japan? So, what you gonna do with your like higher studying?
Yes, so well, that is the dream that I'm working for, to become the next Miss International. So, of course, I do have to make other plans in case that doesn't work out for me. I will have to have a plan B. So, like you said, we do still have a reign. Actually, with Binibining Pilipinas, we do have 18 months with this organization. So, I know that people will still be listening, people will still be wanting to help. And I think I will really want to be more hands on in the community with science, with education. And then I will see what happens if I am then able to take up my next course in master's, a new project. But I think the best way that I can help right now, with the Binibining Filipinas crown, with the Miss International crown, if ever, will really be to just encourage others in science and find out where I can help. And then maybe that will inspire me in the future with my masters, what I want to focus on. Um, and I know that in Japan, they're very advanced with science and technology. So hopefully, I will
Yes.
meet a lot of organizations, a lot of scientists there. That would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Everybody should, spare some plan B or plan C. Okay, especially
Yes,
you succeed, or you experience the greater one. It would be nice to bring a plan B. But anyway, I'm very interesting and admire you being a scientist, but you still believe in beauty. Okay. Uh-huh.
yes.
Right. So, I would love to know that in your point of view, would you consider nowadays, like the youth or younger generation? I mean, reading, have their own reading, have their own enough reading.
Um, Sorry, do you mean
I mean, how can I say? Would they read enough?
Oh, okay. Honestly, I know they're reading a lot on social media, but they're not really reading history books, or they're not reading even just fiction. I think that's what this generation is unfortunately missing out on with all of the advancements in technology, laptops, tablets, phones. We're really always behind the screen, and unfortunately, social media has been great during this pandemic, but I think they're reading too much from strangers, from all the comments. I think it would be great if they really can put those devices down and open up a book. And there is so much to learn. There are so many journeys to go on when you turn those pages. Although I know there's the other side where other communities, other people that are younger actually don't even have any books. So that is what I am trying to do with this platform also. I'm really trying to go out to those communities here in the Philippines first, in my province, Masbate, and build those reading hubs and give them books and inspire them to become bookworms just like me also. And I hope that from reading they will discover a love for something, and they will hold on to that dream, and they will maybe think about what their future career will be. Maybe when they're reading they will figure that out.
Mm. So it's quite interesting. I totally agree with you, Hannah. But what I also find is quite a daunting task to convince the reader nowadays. I mean, not only younger generation. I mean, overall age,
Mm-mm.
like to have their own interest in um, like the informative, more informative.
Yes.
More informative reading, not like scandalous or there's something that caused the noise. So
Yes.
because you being beauty queen and you are very into this thing, I would love you to present some idea that how would you convince the reader or the audience to have a look into something nice. I mean, something nice for their brain development and their own perspective. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I know it's very hard to convince some people, even some of my friends. It's very hard for me to convince them to pick up a book. So, just like you said, we can't change the mind of everyone, but I'm hoping that a lot more kids will pick up those books. What I would say to them is, it's a quote that I really say a lot. It's quite known here for me. It's quite known that I say this. So I say, with a book, a child can learn to read today, and with a pencil, they'll write their own future tomorrow. So the reason I say that is because I really, really believe that through the power of the books, you're really going to learn so much, not only about the characters in there, or not only about the subject that you're learning, but you're going to learn to have patience also. That's something that I got from reading. As a bookworm, you can't skip to the end. It won't make sense. You really have to have that patience to go through every word, every page, and that really changes your character and your personality. So I don't I don't really know how I would convince someone, but I'm just hoping that someone watching will, maybe after this interview, we will all pick up a book. I have so many on my bedside table that I also need to read, and I do admit that I do go on social media a lot, and I haven't been reading as much. But
Mm.
really, I think we need to escape from all the negative news, the sad news about the pandemic, all of the cases. Just escape for a little while from the safety of your home. If you open that book, you're going to go on so many journeys.
Right. Okay. What about your easy advice? Okay, for someone. If listening you now, and they decide, okay, I will try, even though I'm not a bookworm, but I'm going to start. So we all have a different interests. Okay, in things. So in broadly speaking, what would you advise them to start with?
Yes. So this pandemic, I realized one of the best books that I got that helped me through every day. It's called The Daily Stoic. And actually it's a book about every day they give you a stoic to think about, and then they make you relate it to your day ahead. So this is for those people that don't want to read a whole book. It's just one page per day, and it gives you something to think about, something to reflect on, and something to improve on. I bought this well, my sister gave this to me in January, and every single day it's perfectly helped me get through the day. So I would call that, I guess it's a self help book, a motivational book. Those are really the best to get started with, especially, in these uncertain times. I think that will really change your mindset and will make you be grateful for the blessings that you have and ways that you can make a change in someone else's life. If you're looking for a story, but you don't want a really big one, or you're not sure yet, I also would recommend The Little Prince. That's my favorite book, and it just has such a lovely um, story in it, and it's one of the books that's been translated in so many languages. So if you don't know English, I'm sure you can find your language there in The Little Prince. And the story also has a wonderful meaning to it. So I would recommend those, any like self-help type of books.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Uh-huh. And also about you very like enthusiastic with like education and the youth. So far, have you been like on the ground to spread your advocacy?
Yes, so unfortunately, at the moment, our Metro Manila is under enhanced quarantine, so we're not allowed out of our houses. But before the pandemic, ever since I was younger, I've always been visiting the school where my mom's family is in our province. I have cousins that go to that school. I have relatives who are teachers, and this is in a really far flung community. So they're quite far away from, normal resources and school supplies. So every time I go there, the children remember me, and I see the joy that I have brought to them by giving school supplies, by, just playing with them in the playground. That was so beautiful. And since then, we've managed to build a reading hub. We've added books there during this pandemic because they're very lucky. They don't have any cases there in that community, any COVID cases. So they've been able to go out for a little bit and, utilize that reading area. So unfortunately, at the moment, after being crowned, I haven't been able to do that. But I really hope that very soon I will physically be there. So at the moment, I'm just using my social media to promote, send some funds, send some books. But again, like I said, physically, I haven't been able to see the children. But a lot of the schools here in the Philippines at the moment are preparing for the upcoming school year. Some have started already, and some are still in the setting up stages. So I know that here there's still a lot to be done to make sure it's another successful schooling year. And we have to adjust so much with the protocols. So I really pray that after this interview or after my other interviews, more people will also join me in advocating for education.
Right, right. So, Hannah, what about if the youth who watching us now really love to follow your footsteps, to be a very good student, uh-huh, very avid leader, but in reality, they find difficulty, to pursue their own study, probably according to limited resources. Do you have anything to say to inspire them? No matter how hard a life would be, and how significant education would contribute to our future. So probably not some. I think a lot of people in the world would like to get inspired by someone qualified like you.
Yes, so just like you said, unfortunately, there are many students who, as much as they dream of graduating, studying, they don't have those resources, and they're making use of what they have or what their family can afford. But to begin with, for those listening, if you're in that situation, first of all, the fact that you want to study, the fact that you want an education, that's already so much. That's bringing so much hope to us that you want to study, you want to learn, you want to be a better citizen of our community. It really starts with you guys. And what I can say now is, although you may be losing the belief in yourself or what you are capable of, please don't give up yet, because I know that maybe me myself, I will be able to reach you soon, or maybe someone else will. They will see how hard you're working, and then they will bless you with that. And that person that might see you is God. He will really help you in your struggles. For now, this is something for you to take advantage of. It's going to be a lesson. Um, Learn from this, and you will soon graduate. You will soon graduate in whatever degree you want. You will soon have that job. I know that very soon that time will come. I myself, I wasn't the best student, honestly. You may think that I maybe I was top of the class, but sometimes I almost failed because I wasn't enjoying my classes. And that's why now I really want you to just enjoy what you're doing, really listen to the teachers, and I know that, yeah, that blessing will come very, very soon.
Mm. Do you believe in like um, quite I'm kind of I don't want to say it's standard, but that's a lot of people in society just think or value, I mean evaluate people according to their academic record. Would you Do you believe that, like, sort of someone getting magna cum laude or summa cum laude would get greater opportunity than others, and once they get, would they tend to perform better than someone who didn't?
Yeah, so this is a very good question. Actually, because I studied in Australia, we don't have those kinds of titles or level of achievement. We really don't have that. I know here in the Philippines, it's something to be celebrated. I have friends who were also top of their class, and that's really something to be proud of. They really deserve it because they really focused. They weren't distracted by anything else. They weren't just doing it for themselves, they were doing it for their family and for their dreams. So I think they are very deserving of those titles. And if they are offered a good job, a good career, then that's also something to be celebrated. I'm sure that the employers wouldn't do it if they didn't see their passion. And of course, once they're in that job, they have to prove themselves again. I know that they're very lucky to have that door open up for them after having that title or after having high grades. But for the others that, like for me, a lot of my courses or subjects, I just passed, but because I didn't give up and I continued to enjoy it and remember, the reason why I wanted to study this, I was still able to find like careers. I was still able to get into the degree I wanted. There are other ways to get there. You may not be the top of the class right now, but as long as you're really taking in that knowledge, you're really listening and you're applying it to your everyday life, it will it will come to you very soon. You will get there eventually. It's not really a race at the moment. Just keep on believing in what your capabilities are and show that. And again, like I said before, people will see it and you will be blessed. So yeah, just keep on studying and your dreams will come true eventually.
Just get going, okay? Even though we already did ourselves, but we probably not get that title. But it doesn't mean that you mean less, okay? Your worth is
Yes.
is less. So it's just about timing. It's probably not your timing yet. So just keep pursuing
Yes.
according to Hannah recommend.
Yes. I get
Okay.
it's very relatable to my pageant journey. How, it wasn't my time before, but I kept on going and yes, I was able to get that crown eventually.
Right. That's good. So, I got a question from fans that wonder because it seemed like they knew that you juggle between Philippines and Australia all along, your life. So they wonder how did you actually formally trained um, as a beauty queen. I mean, formally, because it's just like in Australia one time, and another time you been in Philippines. So how can you construct, okay, stably in terms of training?
Yes, so like you said, I did grow up in Australia, but then when I graduated and was old enough, I completely moved here to the Philippines because this is where I wanted to live permanently. Ever since I was younger, I have been coming here to the Philippines, and my first pageant actually, I was just 6 years old. So I was the crowned winner of my province, Masbate. And so from that age of 6 years old, I was already inspired by pageantry and how much celebration there was. My family was celebrating so much. We were so happy that time that I had the crown. So when I went back to Australia, we really have such a strong Philippine community that I was always involved in. And so then I joined a local pageant there called Miss Philippines Australia. And honestly, I didn't really train that much. Um, back there, I didn't realize that the other girls were really training for so long. for me, I would just sit down with a family friend, my mom's best friend. We would just ask some questions and I would answer. And then we'd think of, okay, that's good, next, that's okay. That was just once or twice. We did the question and answer. And then for my catwalk or my passerella, I practiced a few times just in my house, but it's very different when you're doing it on carpet. So it wasn't the best. And then the pageant came, and I was so shocked that the other girls were very prepared. For me, my feet were hurting in the heels, and I was only 18 that time. So I still enjoyed it. I had so much fun, and I did the best performance I could. But I realized, yes, it wasn't the best training that I could have had, because it was just family, friends, and we were enjoying. But to join here in Binibining Pilipinas, the national pageant here, it really takes months or even years of formal training. So before I joined in 2019, I was actually training for 6 months. So from 2018 until the start of 2019. And that was also with a family friend. We would practice, in studios, in basketball courts, any space we could find. We would walk for hours. And then I would do question and answer on the weekends. It really takes a lot of sacrifices and time to train. You really have to want it. You really have to believe in why you're joining. And that was so much fun. And then again for this year, I joined a training camp in 2019. I realized that when I didn't win in 2019, my training wasn't enough. So I furthered that. I joined a training camp called Aces and Queens. I had personality development training, exercise training, more catwalk, more Q&A, and that really helped me to perform much better this 2021. And now I'm here as your crowned queen. So, it really takes a lot of training when you're competing for Miss International Philippines. I'm just so grateful also that the judges and the organization appreciate my personality, because that's something you can't really train so much for. You just have to be yourself, and everyone will love it also.
Right. So, fans also, including me, would like to know what's actually the main reason drawn you to pageantry at the first place.
Yes, so like I mentioned, my first pageant was when I was 6 years old. So seeing everyone enjoying and celebrating and being a community together just for a pageant, it really changed my perspective on it. And then, for those who know, our Miss Universe 2015, Pia Wurtzbach, she changed the pageantry for me. It was when she competed and when she answered that I realized pageantry has such a big impact on people, that you have such a strong message you can give. And because of her performance there, it really inspired me to keep on going and, break those stereotypes, those glass ceilings for women. I can be a scientist and a beauty queen, and I can balance everything. I can do that, and I'm really glad that I pushed myself to compete. It's pageantry has changed so much now, and I'm very grateful that we really can speak up more about issues, about advocacies, and it's so beautiful.
Right. So, when you were young, would you, aside from loving of pageantry, would you ever imagine yourself to be here one
Um,
day?
you every child has their dreams of what they want to be when they're older, and for me, I really loved being on the stage. I was a ballerina, and so I always pictured myself. One day I'm gonna have a crown. One day I'm gonna be a princess and find my prince. So I always imagined myself with a crown, but I didn't know it was going to be as a beauty queen. And I hope that I am inspiring younger kids now, just like Pia inspired me. I hope that I am also inspiring younger girls to join. Um, because really, if you put your mind to something, you can achieve it. And, not only for the girls, there's also pageants for men, for boys. So anyone can really join a pageant.
Right, right. So, my you if I translate in Thai a little bit, okay.
Yes.
โอเคสวัสดีครับแฟนคนไทยเนาะแล้วก็แฟนๆที่เข้ามานะคะที่คอมเมนต์เนาะคนไทยคือแฮนนาเขาน่ารักมากๆนะคะแฮนนาเนี่ยเขาสนับแอดโวเคทนะคะเรื่องการอ่านเรื่องการศึกษานะคะแล้วก็เยาวชนเนาะเขาให้ความสำคัญมากเขารักเด็กนะคะแล้วก็ตัวของแฮนนาเองเขาจบด้านนั่นนะนิติวิทยาศาสตร์พิสูจน์กองพิสูจน์หลักฐานอะไรอย่างนั้นเลยนะคือฮันน่าเขาจบที่ U of Canberra นะคะที่ออสเตรเลียนะเขาเป็นลูกครึ่งออสเตรเลียนฟิลิปปินาสนะคะก็คือคนฟิลิปปินส์เนาะเขาเดินทางไปมาระหว่างออสเตรเลียกับฟิลิปปินส์นะคะตั้งแต่เกิดเนาะก็คือพื้นฐานของคุณแม่คือฮันน่าเนี่ยก็คือมาจากเมืองมาสปาเต้นะครับแล้วคราวนี้เนี่ยคุณฮันน่าเนี่ยเขาก็บอกว่าคือความรักในการประกวดเนี่ยมันเริ่มตั้งแต่เด็กๆเลยอ่ะ6 ขวบเขาก็ได้มงละเขาก็ลงแบบประกวดแบบในหมู่บ้านเขาที่จังหวัดมัสปาเต้เนาะที่คุณแม่เขาอยู่เนี่ยเขาก็มงละ6 ขวบแล้วเขาก็ฝันมาเรื่อยๆว่าก็ถามเขาว่าเนี่ยเคยฝันไหมว่ามันจะถึงจุดเนี้ยมงใหญ่ขนาดเนี้ยเขาบอกก็บอกตรงนะผู้หญิงทุกคนเด็กผู้หญิงทุกคนก็ฝันหมดแหละฉันก็ฝันอะไรเงี้ยแล้วตัวเขาเนี่ยเขาเป็นนักบัลเล่ต์เขาเป็นนักบัลเล่ต์นะคะแล้วก็คราวนี้เนี่ยเขาก็แบบเต้นไปเขาก็เออจินตนาการว่าจะต้องมีมงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยนะแล้วก็ที่สำคัญก็คือว่าแรงบันดาลใจของเขามากๆเลยคือปี2015ที่เปียมงนะคะคือเปียนี่เป็นโรโมเดลของของทางแฮนนาเขาเลยก็คือมันทำลายกำแพงให้เขามีความรู้สึกว่าถึงแม้เขาจะเป็นนักวิชาการเนี่ยแต่เขาก็เป็นนางงามได้อืมคือมันแบบว่าเขาเรียกว่าอะไรอ่ะคือแฮนนาเนี่ยก็คือมันแตกสเตอริโอไทป์เลยมันยากมากนะนักวิทยาศาสตร์ที่จะมาเป็นนางงามนี่มันคนละสายเลยแต่ว่าพอความความที่เปียเนี่ยเขามีความสวยหรือความงามที่แตกต่างแต่เขามงมันเลยเป็นแรงบันดาลใจให้ฮันน่ามากว่าฉันต้องทำได้สิฉันเป็นนักวิทยาศาสตร์ฉันก็ต้องมงได้นะครับอันเนี้ยก็คือฮันน่าเขาก็บอกแล้วก็ถามเขาเนาะบอกว่าเนี่ยโลกเราสมัยนี้เนาะมันก็มีอะไรแบบเยอะแล้วคนอ่ะอ่านแต่สิ่งที่มันไม่มีประโยชน์ฮันน่าเนี่ยเขาสนับสนุนเรื่องการอ่านเนาะอยากให้คนอ่านหนังสือเยอะๆแล้วก็เลือกอ่านในสิ่งที่ดีไม่ใช่อ่านที่เนกาทีฟคราวนี้ก็เลยถามเขาว่าแล้วจะมีอะไรที่มันจะโน้มน้าวใจให้คนอ่านน่ะหันมาอ่านสิ่งที่มันมีประโยชน์ไม่ใช่ไปอ่านแบบข่าวแบบว่าเอ่อโทษนะครับอ่านแบบข่าวช้าผัวเมียอะไรอย่างเงี้ยข่าวอะไรที่มันท็อกซิกนะหรือข่าวอะไรที่มันแบบว่าเฟกนิวใช่ไหมฮันนาก็เลยบอกว่ามันก็ยากอยู่นะตรงนี้แต่ก็อยากให้แบบว่าเราลองเริ่มง่ายๆก่อนเขาแนะนำเนอะให้อ่านหนังสือพวก self help นะแล้วก็self motivational story อะไรพวกเนี้ยนะเขาบอกว่าถ้าสมมุติว่าใครอยากจะแบบลองเริ่มอ่านทีละนิดทีละหน่อยวันละหน้าก็พอฮันน่าก็บอกว่าขอหน้านึงนะ daily one page daily ฮะขอหน้านึงนะแล้วก็อ่านหนังสือแล้วคราวนี้เราจะเริ่มอินสปายนะค่อยๆอ่านไปค่อยๆอ่านไปค่ะคือฮันน่าเชื่อว่าการอ่านเนี่ยมันจะทำให้เราอะเหมือนกับสมองเราเนี่ยรับรู้หรือกรองในสิ่งที่มีประโยชน์แล้วเข้ามาใช้ตัวเราได้อย่างตัวฮันน่าเองเนี่ยเขาเรียกตัวเขาว่าบุ๊กเวิร์มนะก็คือเขาเป็นคนชอบอ่านหนังสือมากแบบหัวเตียงเขาเนี่ยจะมีหนังสือตลอดเลยเพราะนั้นเนี่ยเขาเชื่อว่าการอ่านหนังสือเนี่ยมันจะสอนหลายๆอย่างคือมันจะทำให้เรามีความอดทนนะครับเพราะว่าเราจะอ่านให้รู้เรื่องเราจะอ่านไปข้ามแบบหน้าแรกแล้วไปหน้าสุดท้ายไม่ได้คุณต้องอ่านตั้งแต่ต้นจนจบต้องเข้าใจเพราะนั้นเนี่ยมันคล้ายๆมันสอนแบบปลูกสร้างคาแรคเตอร์ดีๆให้กับตัวเราไปด้วยนะคะเรื่องความอดทนรู้จักรออะไรเงี้ยอันนี้จากประสบการณ์แฮนนาเขาสอนนะดีมากๆเลยแล้วแฮนนาเขารักเด็กเนาะเขาก็บอกว่า เขาอยากให้แบบว่าเด็กๆนี่มีการศึกษาแต่เพิ่งช่วงปิดโควิดเนาะก็ถามเขาก็เลยยังไม่ได้ลงพื้นที่แต่เขาก็ใช้โซเชียลมีเดียนะในการ advocate นะคะถ้าสมมุติว่าโควิด -19 เนี่ยล็อกดาวน์หรือเนี่ยมันถูกยกไปนะคะเดี๋ยวเขาก็อยากจะลงพื้นที่เนาะไปแจกหนังสือไปแจกอะไรให้เด็กๆเนาะเขาให้ความสำคัญมากๆเลยแล้วก็ที่สำคัญคือเขาบอกว่าถ้าเขาปฏิบัติหน้าที่เสร็จคือตามหลักของบินิมินิ่งเนี่ย48เดือนคือ18เดือนนะคะครองมงกุฎเนี่ยเพราะฉะนั้นน่ะหลัง18เดือนเนี่ยเขาบอกว่าเขาก็ตั้งใจจะไปเรียนโทต่อนะก็ทางด้านด้านวิทยาศาสตร์นะเขาเป็นนักวิทยาศาสตร์เขาอยากจะเรียนด้านโทต่อแล้วก็ความตั้งใจก็อยากเรียนเอกด้วยนะคะคราวนี้ก็เลยแซวเขาบอกว่าอ้าวแล้วถ้าสมมติเกิดไปมงที่ญี่ปุ่นแล้วจะทำยังไงเนี่ยเขาบอกเขามีแผน B นะไม่เป็นไรก็เดี๋ยวค่อยเปลี่ยนแผน Okay, Hannah, I just tell briefly about what we're talking, and I
Yeah.
just tell all the fans as well about your plan B. If in case that you're going to win your next journey, and I just said that okay, you already set your plan B, so don't you worry.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for translating it so everyone is really aware of, yes, who I am, what I love, my advice, and yeah, my messages. So thank you so much for that. It's also
Yes,
it's a very beautiful language. I was just smiling the whole time because it sounds so intricate, so beautiful.
yeah, that's right. When I was in Australia studying there, and when I walked into Chinatown and with my Thai friends and we talked Thai and Australian Chinese and some Australian just approached me and said, "What language do you speak? Because it's very friendly, very nice, to hear."
Yeah.
Like we singing sort of and I say that it's Thai and they said oh really okay that's nice that's okay thank you indeed for your compliment anyway
Yes.
Hannah I would love to know that how did you correct yourself recollect yourself again after your defeat in 2019. I think not everyone could regain their concentration to win again. Would you mind to share like your tips or secrets how to come back and just win cleanly.
Yes, so like you said, unfortunately, in 2019, I didn't walk away with any title, any crown that year. But when I look at the girls that won, they truly deserved it and they had a beautiful reign and made us all very, very proud. Um, so in that moment, it was a bit hard to accept, but because I had seen other girls before me, like Pia Wurtzbach, MJ Lastimosa, and Kylie Versosa, they were repeaters also. They had joined Binibining Filipinas twice, three times, and then they finally won. So because of them and their stories, I always had it in the back of my mind and in my heart that it doesn't mean you have to get it in the first try. You can come back again. It just means that you've learned this time. You didn't lose, but you learned. So that night, after all my tears were gone, I already knew that night that I wanted to come back. Because in Binibining Filipinas, this pageant, it truly feels like family. And you learn so much about yourself and about the other girls and their advocacies, their stories. So that night, I really already knew I wanted to go back. And I told my parents. It took them a little bit of time to convince them, but then eventually they agreed. Okay, if this is really what you want, you can do it again because actually they wanted me to then focus on science. So I'm so glad in that moment they agreed that I could join again. And I think it was becoming in 2019 I became more independent. I went around commuting around the Philippines. I had a lot of modeling. I performed in other provinces. I got to wear so many designers, meet so many people. I think that boosted my confidence. And that's why when I came back in 2020 to apply to join again and become a candidate, I had so much more confidence because I knew more about myself. I knew that more people were believing in me. And yeah, I was able to bounce back because I learned more about myself that time. So again, like I said earlier, it's not really a race to get somewhere. You have to really know yourself, and everyone will see that. So on July 11, everyone said they could see the real me, that I was glowing. I looked so much more comfortable and calm. So I'm so glad that everyone saw that. And, that's why I'm here, and I hope I'm hopefully inspiring others that it doesn't matter if it takes you one, two, three, four times. Don't give up, because if it's your dream, then no one else should tell you no. You will achieve it eventually.
Mm. What about someone, okay, contest about your message to encourage keep going and keep competing until the end of time or until you winning. If they contest that the more we join and probably if we not winning, the more hurtful we become. Uh-huh.
Mm.
And it's probably undermine your confidence and your self-esteem. So what if you encounter of this reaction? How would you like to change their perspective?
Yes. So, unfortunately, there were some girls this year also. It was their second time, their third time, and they also weren't able to walk away with a crown, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of their journey. It just means that they're redirected somewhere else. That they still can be that voice for what they're advocating for. They still can help the community. They still can have that platform. It will just be redirected somewhere else. That God truly is watching, and He will put you in the right place at the right time. So, really, please don't give up just yet. Don't be disheartened. You will have that moment to shine. I know in beauty pageants, it's all up to the judges. But again, if you just believe in yourself, trust everything, give your all, then it should work out for you.
Mm, mm, mm. คือฮันน่าก็บอกงี้นะคะบอกว่าเนี่ยก็บอกว่าฮันน่าทำไงปี2019เนี่ยเขาได้ท็อป15เองนะพอกลับมาครั้งนี้มงเลยแล้วมงแบบใสกิ๊กเลยถามว่าจะให้ยังไงเอาพลังมาจากไหนที่แบบรวบรวมทีเดียวแล้วแบบมงเลยเขาบอกเขาว่าเตรียมตัวแล้วที่สำคัญก็คือว่าเขามีแรงบันดาลใจจากเปียวูสแบกเนาะแล้วก็MJ Lastimosa นะคะก็คือ2ท่านเนี้ยก็คือแบบ มาแล้วมาอีกมาแล้วมาอีกจนชนะจนเขาคิดว่าฉันก็ต้องทำได้สิเพราะฉะนั้นเขาก็ให้กำลังใจเนาะใครยังไม่มงปีนี้ก็มาใหม่นะเดี๋ยวมันก็เก็บเกี่ยวประสบการณ์นะคราวนี้โก้เลยถามว่าเอาแล้วถ้าสมมติว่ามีบางคนแย้งว่าโอ๊ยพอยิ่งกลับมาแล้วไม่สำเร็จไม่สมหวังไม่มงแล้วมันยิ่งเจ็บนะยิ่งเจ็บมันก็ยิ่งท้อพลังใจก็หายหมดอะไรเงี้ยแฮนนาจะพูดว่าไงแฮนนาก็บอกว่าคืออย่างนี้อยากให้มองนี้ว่า บางทีมันยังไม่ใช่วันของเราแล้วที่สำคัญคือบางทีมันไม่ได้หมายความว่าเราล้มเหลวนะการที่เราไม่ได้มงอันนี้ก็ความหมายคือบางทีเราอาจจะไปประสบความสำเร็จอีกหนทางหนึ่งคือ redirect the journey นะคืออันเนี้ยแฮนนาก็บอกนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยแฮนนาบอกอย่าไปท้อนะแฮนนาก็ยังเชื่อมั่นนะเพราะอย่างตัวเขาเนี่ยเขากลับมาเนาะคือจากท็อป15นะมามงเลยมันไม่ใช่ง่ายๆนะพูดถึงน่ะก็คือเขาเตรียมตัวมาดีนะตรงนี้แล้ว อีกอย่างก็คือโควิดด้วยนะคะเพราะเขาเกือบจะไม่ยังไงมันขาดตอนไปเนาะจนคนหลายๆคนเนี่ยกลัวว่าเขาจะไม่มาลงHannah then like there's some speculation before I mean I think at the onset of pandemic a lot of fans were afraid of you not coming, you not joining
Mm-hmm.
pageantry that time, because at the time I think you were still in Australia, I think. So
Yes.
I'm just glad that you finally reached Philippines shore, enjoy pageantry,
Yes.
finally won.
Yes, yes. So actually, yes, just like you said, I went back to Australia to be with my parents, but unfortunately, the borders, the government closed the flights. So there were no more flights between the Philippines and Australia. So I actually really couldn't come back as much as I wanted to, and I missed the Philippines so much. I missed my friends here. I was grateful I was still with my parents in Australia, but I really wanted to continue my pageant journey, and I really prayed for it. I prayed for it so much. I prayed for signs, and I was very lucky to get on one of the special flights. That was only for Filipino citizens to get back to the Philippines. So I'm so grateful I had a spot on that airplane, and I was able to come back, and I'm so glad that people were waiting for me and were wanting me to come back, because sometimes there are people who would have been happy if I didn't come back, because of course they're supporting other girls. But I really felt like everyone has been so happy and proud of me on this journey. So I appreciate it. I haven't seen any negativities at all.
Mm, wow. I got to tell you that's a huge fan waiting for you. Definitely. Okay. And also, you have Australian, definitely. Have your life growing up in Australia, and we quite understandable that Australia is quite independent, and believe in egalitarianism. So I feel so comfortable when was there, and also LGBTQ. So what I would love to know, what is your stance on LGBTQ issue?
Y- Yes, so I am a proud ally of the LGBTQIA plus community. Every time it's Pride Month, suddenly everyone wants to celebrate it. But I am not only here with you guys for that month, I'm here with you every day.
Mm,
Anytime that you need someone to talk to, you can message me. My social media is a safe space for any of you who identify as being in the LGBTQIA plus community. Your voice matters. If you're too shy to come out, then you can always message me. I won't judge at all. If you're feeling discriminated, then you do need to speak up against it. I will be here with you, advocating for that equality for all of us. We should have a right to whatever social orientation or gender expression we identify with. We should be allowed this, and we really need to eradicate that hate from other people. I don't understand really why people are not showing that respect. You all deserve it. Everyone deserves love, respect, and we all need to listen to each other and cooperate, because we're all in this pandemic together, especially right now. We need to work together, and we will get out of it together. I'm just speaking on behalf of the community, but I know that the struggles have been worse during this pandemic. So I will really be here. I will be that helping hand. And with this title, I really do want to advocate for you guys.
right, right, and it's caused quite a worry, okay, in within LGBTQ community, especially the female born LGBT. That there has been increasingly higher rate of gender crime, uh-huh, toward LGBT female born, okay, female born, they tend to subject to abuse by their close one, and I think most of society member tend to overlook, okay, about
Mm-mm.
how severe um, it is. So, according to you, you being a very powerful beauty queen now today, and also very strong ally of LGBTQIA plus community, definitely including me. Okay, you my ally.
Yes.
So I would love you to to shout out what to correct the wrong notion of some guys, okay, some guys or like some perpetrator that intend to harm LGBTQ, especially ladies.
Yes. So it's very unfortunate that people are experiencing this. You know, anywhere you go, you should feel safe. You shouldn't have to worry for your safety at all. And you being you, that should be celebrated. For those people who are causing harm, for those that are being rude online, are being violent in public places, you know, it's very disheartening. I honestly, if I saw this happening in front of me, I would stand up because that is not correct. That is
Mm,
why I really think that by us educating the younger children to accept, you know, everyone, to really be engaged in the community from a young age, and to learn to love everyone no matter, you know, who they identify as. I think starting young, that will really help in the future. Unfortunately, now with the older generations, I honestly, I know it's going to take a lot more than just myself. It's going to take a lot to convince them to give you guys respect that you deserve. I really want to see us, you know, shatter all of those stereotypes, that stigma. But like I said, it's going to take work of the government. You know, we need to put in some laws. You know, the laws that will protect you and give you a safe space. I think that's one of the quickest ways that we will eradicate it, and also with education for the younger children.
mm, mm. So, what your I mean, what is your standpoint on like the death penalty, especially on the gender crime? I mean, when you commit a crime and then you murder your victim. So, would you still like to let them go be in jail for the rest of their life, or if there would be like insteading um, some death penalty, um, would you think they deserve?
Well, you know, like I said, I am an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community. However, I also don't believe in the death penalty. I don't think anyone else has the right to take away someone else's life. Um, you know, it's only God can do that. And for me, I think, you know, rest in peace to all of the souls that have been lost from gender based violence and
Mm,
hate. However, the perpetrators of that, I don't think they should be punished by death. I think they really need rehabilitation, treatment, and they need to learn how to respect the community. I think they will need years of yeah, like I said, rehabilitation to really think about what they did. And I think we need to teach them firsthand by getting them. You know, it's very, it's hard to answer because it's very touchy. Because I'm just thinking of all those that, especially during this pandemic, have lost their lives. I know that I'm just a beauty queen, so I don't necessarily have that power, but I do hope that we will just find ways to teach them a proper lesson, and that they will come out from jail or wherever they were being more respectful. I think that's the best thing we can do, because if we take away their life also, it's not right. Um, but again, I am an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community. I just um, think there are other ways to go about that instead.
So it probably need like the quite huge effort, both in terms of public sector and also private sector to like to advocate and to give like sex education at the early stage um, of the generation, I think. And I understand you, Hannah. And what about if someone argued? Like, okay, if you stand firmly against death penalty, you don't believe that deprive one life would be able to supersede the lost one. Uh-huh. And you give them a chance to learn, like, to rehabilitate their life and their pain. Uh-huh. Um, and some of the group, they might, cite some statistic that okay, so when these people um, were released at a high percentage, they probably tend to commit recidivism. So what do you think if someone just raised this argument against what you proposed?
Well, as a scientist, also, I do appreciate facts, real facts and statistics that's obviously come from accredited news and from real situations. So, first of all, the fact that they have researched, that's already a good start to keep this conversation going. And again, unfortunately, that we have seen that in the past, but maybe it's because behind the walls of the jail or correctional facility that they were, maybe they weren't really having that proper rehabilitation, the proper workshops. Maybe they were just there, but they weren't being guided by proper teachers, proper leaders.
Hmm.
So again, I really don't think the death penalty is the answer. Instead, we need to start and implement already straight away some proper teachers and leaders behind the bars, that that if they're brave enough to stand up against these people and teach them, not and not to give violence in return. You can't fight fire with fire. So instead, they will show these people that kindness, they will give them respect. And honestly, when you see actions or you feel actions towards you, eventually you will imitate that. So I really do believe that people can change. And I do think that if we start now, and like you said, with private sectors, public sectors, if we all get involved in making that happen, in protecting everyone, then we really can see a change. And I really do believe that we can stop these from happening again. And everyone, especially the LGBTQIA plus community, will finally be safe.
Right. So, what about in the recent year, some like free mind, okay, thinker, just proposed that for some ex inmates, okay, when they were out and they try to get a job, it's quite hard for them to regain or rebuild their life professionally because there's still like societal stigma towards their past, and so some just try to go a little bit extreme, like to delete or to adjust the record of them, so they like become a a free man again, and they would be able to rebuild their life. So would you agree or not, for like to delete all of your past, like the criminal record or anything?
Mm. I don't. believe in, deleting the past. It all happened for a reason, and unfortunately, we do have to accept the mistakes we made, the things we did, the things we didn't do. It all happened for a reason, and we all we can do now is move on and think about the present and the future. So I know, like you said, there are some organizations, some businesses that really won't hire, but that doesn't mean that all doors are closed. There really are other employers that are willing to give a second chance, and I really appreciate that. If I had my own business, I might do this also. Everyone deserves a second chance, and as long as you put in the proper training, you have proper human relations, monitoring, then I think they would be a great asset, and we should believe in their capabilities and the skills they have instead of the past that they had. I think if they were released for a reason, because everyone saw their change, their progress, and how they came out even better. I think maybe another step that hopefully will change is that there will be businesses specifically hiring, ex convicts or people that were in jail. I think we will see that be more common, that there will be people willing to hire them. And I really do pray that they will be given that chance, as long as they truly in their heart and mind deserve it, then it will be given to them.
Mhm. So, what do you think is about time that, like, the governing body just step up and like to interrupt the cycle of mindset of societal mindset by imposing, the law that okay, every business should accept the ex-convict 1% or 2% if they're come to apply the sort of. Would you think that now is the time or not yet?
Um, I definitely do think that there's always the right time. I think now in this pandemic, we realize where we need to improve. I'm not sure for every country. I'm honestly not really sure for here in the Philippines if we're ready for that. I do hope in the future we are. But I'm sure that those leaders, maybe in Thailand, in Malaysia, I saw someone is watching. In those countries, I'm sure the leaders will know when it is the right time. And I hope they do act wisely, and we really do think about the community as a whole, that it's going to benefit not only these individuals, it's going to benefit everyone, because we really do need to work together. And if they have the skills, then we should allow them to use them. Yeah, so I can't really answer if it's the right time right now, but again, this pandemic really showed us we have a lot to improve on.
Yep, yep. I mean, in Thailand, we don't have the law to impose, but in general, the understanding we accept
Mm.
next week. So it's quite understandable, but not entirely. Okay, not entirely. It's still there. Some stigma still there, and in some time, the ex-convict, just came out and to call for the real second chance because they said that the real second chance of them is um, time to rebuild their life financially and professionally. It's not just only, being released to see the light. That's what they spoke, in Thai media as well. And I think I agree with Hannah that we still, I mean, worldwide, we still have some room to improve on this area. And I do believe in second chance principle as well because no one ever be perfect. We all make mistakes. And
Yeah.
mistakes probably, happen for the reason, as Hannah said. And once someone or anyone would like to have a chance to stand up again, if we wouldn't get bothered too much, I think um, we probably should embrace them back to the society. They probably create a greater thing for all. It can be someone someone used to be doctor, scientist.
Mm-mm.
If they got second chance, they probably come back and contribute back to the society as well.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it's quite a good idea. I mean, it's quite surprise for me indeed, because Hannah, she's so beautiful, very sweet, but the question that I throw at her really, really tough. I can say really tough, but
Yeah.
she very attentive, okay, very attentive, and did really well, and always gave the right the proper opinion, and very encouraging. And also Hannah, for recently, I think for the last couple of days, there's some contestant couldn't I mean no longer put up with social bullying anymore. Okay, and they just fought back. And I think even though you so beautiful, okay, and you very humble lady, and I also find that you never been out of criticism as well. So do you have any thing to say to some bully out there, like try to have themselves to put on someone else's shoes.
Yes, so like you said, there was another candidate in another pageant that spoke up against some criticisms. I myself have experienced that since 2019, last year, even during the pandemic, and even up until this day. I do see some negative comments and bullying. There's a difference between giving constructive criticism that will help us improve. If you give us some feedback, then we will listen. But if you're just bullying, it's really wrong.
Mm,
Um, and they're obviously hiding behind the keyboard, hiding behind their screens. And like you said, if they were put into our shoes, they definitely would not be happy. They would be very disheartened. But I am proud of the candidates that are standing up. I have done it in the past. I've stood up against many people I even knew, and sometimes they don't listen, they don't take it very well, which is very unfortunate. But as long as I said what I needed to say and I spoke my truth, then there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we have freedom of speech, but there's a difference. State the facts, be kind, be respectful, but don't use your freedom of speech to tear someone else down. Unfortunately, in pageantry, you will see a lot of it. So, if you're watching and you're younger, please do surround yourself with kind people, people that will support you, will uplift you, because that's what you do need to get through those tough comments and bullies.
mm. So Hannah, I'm quite wonder, I mean, is there any beauty queen like file a complaint against the fans, or not the fan, actually the bully, okay? Because so far I haven't found yet in Philippines, but in Thailand we have started
Oh.
the last 2 years. I mean, they no longer put up with
Mm.
bullying, in the disguise of fans anymore. So I wonder what is the mindset of the beauty queen in Philippines. would they ever think to, like, um, to overpower the bullying legally, or they
Mm.
just ignore, overlook all the time, and just okay, let them doing whatever they want.
Well, in every life, every career, not only in pageantry, you have to decide on what battles you want to fight. And from what I know, I haven't seen any people I know personally that have filed against it, because I think you need a lot of proof and evidence. And right now, I know that people may see that this is something little. I know that it hurts and that we get affected, but I haven't seen it being filed. I know that Catriona Gray, our Miss Universe 2018, she did file against. I'm not sure if it was a page or an individual, but they also did share incorrect facts. They bullied her, and she did make it a law suit. I'm not sure how it's going at the moment. I can't remember exactly when she filed, so I'm not sure if it's progressing.
I
But
mean,
definitely, mm-mm,
aside from Catriona Gray, because I knew that Catriona did,
mm-mm,
because it's so severe. I mean, I support her truly. She must do it. It must stop, because it's crossed the line.
yes,
It's off, just totally off. But
mm-mm,
aside from Catriona, I haven't found any Filipinas queen did that to bully, or someone online that go beyond the proper line. That's why I'm
yeah,
asking. Why
mm.
why Filipinas queen so tolerant?
Actually, I think we're not tolerating, we're not allowing it. We really speak up against it and we will block those people. But I
Mm,
think what we've learned is these people want attention,
mm,
and, they're gonna enjoy it. I don't know what happened in their life. They'll have personal things that brought them to become bullies or to think in a negative light. And I think the queens that haven't spoken up against it, maybe they're speaking they're speaking about it privately. Maybe things are happening, but they just didn't make it public. Or maybe
yeah,
they found a way to teach this person a lesson already, but they didn't want to bring more light to it. So I'm not too sure. I can't speak on behalf of them. For me, I haven't experienced anything very bad or that hurtful. So I haven't had to make any, you
what
know,
about
uh,
if you encounter one that you think that, oh, it's just intolerant. I won't let this happen ongoing anymore. So what you gonna do?
um, well, honestly, because it's just a hypothetical, I'm not too sure. Uh, Once something happens, you have to think about a lot of things. And I honestly would just go to my support team first, hear about their thoughts, and then plan from there. I would make sure I'm not thinking, just in that second. I need to give a lot of thought to things, especially that. And for me, who wants to give people a lesson in other ways, give them a second chance, I would try and find a way to do that first. But if they're really not going to cooperate and not going to become more respectful, and if I see them doing it to other people, then I will take a further step to it. But hoping, fingers crossed, that that never happens. But again, I would have to think about it. Think about all the pieces of it.
Yeah. So Hannah, would you mind to to speak? I mean, I think you can speak on behalf of many in general. Like, personally, I don't think it's fair. for being famous and can be victimized or by someone that we rarely knew. Okay, so would you mind to like to say on behalf of yourself and others, other famous people that experience the same kind of unconstructive comments, and that you shouldn't do that, and that sort of it's for me. In my perspective, I don't think it's fair. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
I worked so hard to get the point, to get to this point, and once you become well known, and you still have to be prone to these sort of things.
Yes, so just like you said, it is very unfair. We also had a lot of sacrifices. We worked hard, and our skills and actions are being rewarded because we really push for it. Um, I can't really speak on behalf of others because I'm not sure how they're feeling exactly. So I will just speak, on behalf of me that it does hurt. Bullying, really, it's very upsetting that it's still here and that it's become more rampant during the pandemic because everyone's hiding behind the screen. I have experienced it. I've even seen negative comments from, people I know, and that does hurt. But again, like I said, I will give someone a second chance. I will allow them to become better. And I think we just really need to engage in proper conversations with each other. Um, it's very upsetting that we do receive so much hate, and people think that we aren't human, but we are human also. We will go through all the same feelings as you. So if you're going to say something, negative and nasty and really tear me down, then I will really be affected. I'm just human.
Mm,
So I really hope that, yeah, I really hope that with technology, we can teach the younger generations, young adults, even adults, use it wisely because I'm sure they would definitely would not like to be in that position also.
mm.
Um,
So
yeah, it's very difficult.
I think we have to solve at the root cause, which probably to provide more education there, according to advocacy, because it's just like the root of everything. So, Hannah, would you like to say anything else to all the world and emphasize again about the importance of your advocacy? And definitely, just a brief, okay? What is your plan of preparation of Miss International?
Yes, so like you said, everything does really stem from education, whether that's education in our homes or in our schools or from a stranger, just by watching them, we're going to learn something. So I really think that education does have the power to change our ending, change our future, and change what happens next for all of us here in the world. So I really do hope that, in this journey, those watching, those listening and following will also believe in that too. We have to believe in the future and believe in what is possible if we just start now. I want to say thank you to you, Miss Ko, for having me tonight, Admin Ko. Thank you so much. I was able to hear your story, your views. I was able to hear your beautiful language, and I appreciate that so much. This title has connected me to so many of you. I think I also saw Sam was watching earlier, Sam Brusas. I had an interview with him. He's also based in Thailand. So I love that all of you are, in different countries, but you're still supporting us. It really means so much. And you're not only supporting us, you're allowing us to share so many messages. And all the questions you asked tonight, I haven't really answered these anywhere else. So I'm grateful that you also allowed, my brain to think about it a little bit more. So thank you for that. And I see right now Trisha is also watching. So thank you, Trisha. And thank you for your belief in me for Miss International. I hope everyone watching or watching later will continue to pray not only for me, but all of the Binibining Filipinas queens. We are all preparing for our upcoming pageants, and we really do need your support. And like we said just before, unfortunately, there is some bullying. So I do hope that all of you just send out good vibes, that all of you, put yourself in our shoes and just also trust the process of everything. Like I was saying before, if you don't make it the first time, don't give up. Your time will come. So I hope that I served as an inspiration to you. It was my second time joining, and then I was able to walk away with a crown this time. So I really hope tonight you learned a lot, that you were motivated and have changed your perspective on things. So thank you so much, everyone. And again, thank you, KP1 Worldwide, for having me tonight and the other queens the rest of this week.
That's so nice indeed. That's so nice indeed. I'm so ecstatic, honestly. I mean, it's worth waiting. I've been waiting for you for so long, quietly. Okay, I never told anyone, but I'm so glad indeed. And probably I would like to skip this part, just a short answer. Okay, right, you born beautiful. Okay, your figure, your height, just perfectly right. Uh-huh. What about other, contestant or other girl that would, still dreaming to become beauty queen or a winner, but they wouldn't like, the same body structure or the look as you. So how would you like encourage them to be like, to be themselves and living their dream of winning a queen, a crown one day.
Yeah, so just like you said, being themselves, that's really the first step. Don't try to be anyone else. Love your body, no matter how tall you are, if you're shorter, if you have hips or your body is quite straight, appreciate that. Appreciate that you have the ability to move your body, that your body moves and allows you to do many things. Appreciate yourself first, and then that will show on stage. Take care of yourself by drinking lots of water, having enough sleep, and moving your body for a little bit, every day. Make sure you're walking around a little bit and reading positive things. Like I said before, as a bookworm, I try to read as much as I can. And if you're reading positive things, that will show on the outside. So, to those wanting to become beauty queens, again, just look at yourself in the mirror. Look at everything that you have. You are beautiful. You were made like that for a reason. You're here for a reason. Find your purpose and share that to the world. And don't give up.
That's really nice. That's really nice. I would love to tell you a little bit, Hannah. Marvin Kaur, also my guest a couple of days. She is the Miss Malaysia Glove 2021.
Mm.
Just being watching now, and she sent a lot of comments. And the latest one, it says, "It's such a pleasure listening to you, Hannah." Uh huh. Would
Oh,
you mind
hi,
say
Malvin.
Yes, yes, and definitely my friend Sam Brusat leave a couple comments and you already saw it. Hi Sam, thank you for coming and support me. I love you too, Sam. And also my friends Filipinos who live in Bangkok as well.
Mm.
Would you mind to shout out his name? He
Yeah,
actually
sure.
you know, he posts a lot of picture of him and you on the social media.
Hmm.
Um, all right. Cliff. His name is Cliff When
Oh
Conchara.
yes. Yes. Hi, Cleve. Actually, yes, I've met him a few times, and I actually had a Zoom party the other night with my fans. So I'm very grateful that he is still supporting me ever since 2019. So thank you, Cleve, and thank you for watching tonight. I hope you're safe, and I know we will see each other again very soon.
All right, and thank you, Cliff. Thank you for coming and watching me and my special guest, Hannah Arnold. And Hannah, can I apply as your fans now?
Yes, of course. You know, you don't have to qualify, anyone. I appreciate it, even if you just like a picture, comment, or you just smile at me. I'm very grateful for all of you.
Mm-hmm. So, would you accept that not someone, most of people said that you are being a very humble queen?
I appreciate that a lot. At first in 2019, everyone wanted me to change my personality, but I'm so glad that now everyone is seeing the real me and, yeah, appreciating who I am, what I say. It means that they're really listening. So I appreciate it.
Have you ever been to Thailand, Hannah?
Yes. So I went to Bangkok. It was only for 2 days, actually. It was in 2017. I just graduated from. I didn't graduate yet. I just finished my last class in forensic science. So I came here to the Philippines, and then unfortunately the weather was so bad that the planes were all canceled, all of the flights. So I wasn't able to spend the whole week in Thailand. Unfortunately, it just became 2 days. But because one of my mom's best friends in Canberra, she's Thai, so she was
Oh,
there at the time, and she invited us, to just look around her community and see her house and her family. It was very nice. So I didn't get to spend enough time there. So hopefully, and maybe also if Miss Grand International is hosted there, maybe if we're allowed to travel, me and the other girls might be able to go support Sam when she competes.
I wish that all of you, the whole bunch, okay, just come to Thailand and cheer up Sam Panino. And I wish that I would have a chance to take care of you. And I'm so glad indeed that your mom best friend is Thai. I mind you, if I, like to sort of to please your mom a little bit. สวัสดีครับมามา
I'm not sure if she's watching, but I'll send
Okay,
her the link after.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Hi, Mama. I'm so glad indeed. Okay. If Mama just visit Thailand, just let me know. Okay. Uh huh. So I'm glad indeed
Thank
that
you.
your best friend, your mom best friend is Thai. Uh huh. So we
Mm.
got Thai Philippine connection already.
That's
Okay.
true.
So for all the fan, we got a lot of substantive, story tonight, and a great deal of advice and well good talk from the real sweet queen. Okay, Miss Hannah Arnold, Miss International Philippines 2021, and she's so kind. I can say that she got a very a Saint Mind and angelic heart
Mm.
throughout, very forgiving, very forgiving. And I wish that all the fans would follow Miss Hannah Arnold at her IG at ARNO LDHAN underscore. Please follow her and support her because she still got a huge contest ahead of her. Miss International in Japan. And I will support you, Hannah. I wish
Thank
you
you.
doing well with everything. Stay safe. Okay, and if all the restrictions live up, I wish that you're doing well with training. Okay, and
Thank
also
you.
you keep going spreading your advocacy is so great. Okay, your advocacy is like huge, and it's going to benefit for the world because the youth is everything. It's just the starting point of everything for the next century. And for the fans worldwide, thank you indeed for watching, especially Thai and Filipinos, and all the fans. We got fans from UK, to drop in Anand, and also very celebrated queen from Malaysia, and Malaysia fans, Thai fans, Filipino fans. You got fans everywhere. You everywhere, Hannah. So thank you indeed for giving time. I'm so appreciated, and I wish that we keep in touch. And if you and your team have anything to like to post a picture or anything, any news that you would like to spread, and I'm ready, to be your tool. Okay,
Thank
like
you.
to be some kind of instrumental. All right, to help
Thank
your
you so much.
Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep. All right. And
Thank you, Admin Co.
yeah, yeah, thank you indeed. And I would love to thank you even more for being LGBTQAIA plus allies. And I wish that everyone in the world would be like, open, all right? And be respect each other and be kind with each other. So, I mean, we all human, all right? Even though we got quite different sexual orientation, but we got flesh and blood. We heard. Okay, so according to Hannah, what she described throughout, I wish that someone who still got some wrong notion would think again. All right, and um, rebehave. All right. Okay. Thank you indeed for
Thank
tonight,
you.
and thank you, Bini Bini Filipinas organization, and Ray
Sir
Santos
Ray, yes.
press, and all the queen that visit me, and also tomorrow we're going to meet a great speaker of the year, I think, Cinderella Faye Obenida. Okay, Miss Intercontinental Philippines 2021, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Manila time. Okay, and thank you indeed. ขอบคุณมากนะครับ see you again, see you Hannah, and thank you indeed.
Thank you.
Salamat po and gracias. ขอบคุณมากครับ
Thank you. Kapkunka.